After my improvised campsite west of Sisters last night, came into town and met up with Erik, Dahlen Adventures. Going to now head out towards Pine Mountain.
It is a gorgeous day out here in the high desert southeast of Bend. I just love trekking into these open desert areas where you can see for miles and the topography isn't completely obscured by impenetrably dense forests. We're poking up some spurs and side roads to scout for possible campsites for later. We'll keep exploring all afternoon, but it's always good to have some backup options in your pocket, and you never know what you might discover along some of these random trails. The snow-capped peaks off in the distance are Three Sisters. I was camped just to this side of North Sister last night. This area of Central Oregon is dotted with numerous cinder cone buttes, many of which you can drive right up. The camera doesn't do justice to just how steep the final segment of this road is, and it's just deep, loose cinder which is similar to driving in sand. Erik's Montero has made it up, but this may be a little too much for the forester. And nope. The wheels were spinning in those loose cinders, and the traction control, attempting to stop the wheel spin, applied the brakes and stopped me. I'm going to switch traction control off and make one more attempt. Nice view from up here, but what goes up must come down. Again, the camera fails to capture just how dauntingly steep the descent is. We're just going to focus on keeping the rigs pointed straight down the hill. You don't want to get sideways on a slope like this, because rolling your vehicle becomes a very real possibility.
here, we got you some snow, Eric.
A little bit.
The Midland 105 has been working out really nicely for these adventures, staying in contact with whoever I'm out with.
But I still had all the stuff on my Gaia, so I was like, well, let's go try it out, see what's out here.
Oh yeah, it's really cool.
Erik is heading us towards a larger butte that might yield a cool campsite, but we're slowly gaining some elevation and finding ourselves in more snow. No one has driven these roads since the snow fell, so Erik is cutting tracks. So far, that's pretty painless for his big Montero on those huge tires. The snow is getting deeper and deeper, and we've settled into a pattern of advancing as far as we can until a particularly deep drift brings the Montero to a halt. Erik then backs up, picks up some momentum on the tracks he just cut, and plows further forward through the snow. While it's hard to tell, we are indeed on a mapped, numbered Forest Service road here, albeit one that appears to have had almost no traffic in years and is quite overgrown.
Still the road?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh yeah, see, here's your problem. There's a tree across the road.
We are now on the road that goes up the butte we were aiming for, and with the elevation we're gaining, the snow is becoming increasingly problematic. We've both successfully driven through deeper snow than this, but today this stuff is particularly wet and heavy, and it's really hampering our progress. Erik is gaining less and less distance with each new attempt.
Sun is getting low. We're still trying to get up this butte. I'm dragging on the center snow pretty good. I don't think I'm gonna make it much higher. But Erik's still trying to cut tracks up there.
It's clear we're never going to make it to the top of the butte, but with no place to turn around, we have no choice but to reverse all the way down to the last crossroad, and maybe a quarter mile back.
So each road we were trying, we were just gaining too much elevation, just too much snow. So, come back down and we're kind of poking around, looking for someplace to camp. It's getting dark, although it's really only a little after 4 o'clock, so there's no big hurry. We can push into the dark. That's fine. I can't even get out of the track if I want to.
We've now set our sights on another butte at lower elevation.
Nice view going up too.
Yeah, no kidding. There's people up here.
No way.
So yeah, this would have been a pretty good spot to camp. Nice views, and the peak of the butte provides some wind protection to the flat area below, but there are people here already. It doesn't look like they're camping, but they're playing loud music and drinking cheap beer, so who knows how long that might go on. That's okay, there's a lot of land out there. Certainly we'll find something else.
Well, we took advantage of being up on that little butte. We had a 360-degree view of the area. We could see the roads going off in all directions, and we just used the view of the ground as a map to figure out where we're going to try and head to look for some place to camp.
It's getting darker and darker, but the road is just not yielding any clearings or side spurs. It is still relatively early though, and all we can do is keep pushing on. Driving through the desert in the dark is a somewhat disconcerting experience. During the day, you can see so well, so far, that it's easy to keep your bearings by sighting off various buttes and other landmarks even without using a nav system. At night, all you've got is just the dirt and the rocks and the sagebrush immediately around you, and it's just always more of the same. More dirt, more rocks, more sagebrush. Almost mesmerizing. After several miles of narrow, unchanging desert track with no potential campsites to be found, at least we can't see any, we've decided to take a chance on returning to the little butte where the people were and hope that either they've gone home or will be leaving soon.
Well, you can't tell, but we're camped up on top of that same butte that we were on before, where we saw the people with the side-by-sides. They left. We took the spot. Eric's getting his campsite set up. What have you got hung up in there, Eric?
My curtains?
Are those blankets? Yeah. Let's hear about the curtains.
They're just a Harbor Freight moving blanket.
Oh,
and that's
yeah.
it.
I bet those insulate pretty well.
They're not too bad. I mean, they're not like super thick, but I feel like, I mean, it's better than just
compared
nothing.
to glass.
Yeah,
Yeah,
than just glass. Good. It's, you know, it's definitely more.
And how do you
helpful.
how are they hung up?
They're hung up by little
You don't have to undo them. But...
little snaps. So I just added some snaps, put a snap on the back side, and then
brilliant.
Just snap it in, and it holds up. It's not exactly beautiful, but it keeps out all the light, makes it nice and...
It looks super cozy in there.
Yeah.
Good morning. I'm on top of the butte that we camped on last night. View is pretty nice from up here. We had some clouds roll in last night, so it didn't get quite as cold. Still, car showed around 34 degrees this morning. Can't quite figure out if the sun's going to emerge from that bright spot or that bright spot. Up on the other side of the butte, you can see three sisters lighting up in the distance. This is now the third time I'm hiking up this butte. I hiked up it yesterday, just out of interest. Hiked up it last night to get cell service. I can back up it again this morning. Again, because I need cell service to send a message. Well, so far the on-demand water system is still working out pretty well.
Well, we've broken camp and we're heading back up to Highway 20. Erik and I really had a fantastic little excursion this weekend, exploring some spots we hadn't been before, getting up some buttes, checking out some views, and a little nighttime adventure, trying to find a campsite.
Erik contributed quite a bit of footage to help complete this episode, but the really great news is that he has started making videos for his own channel. He gets out on a lot of excursions in his Montero, and his first adventure video is already way better than my first videos were. I'll put links on the end screen and in the description below so you can go check it out.
Same size log, and don't forget your... Well, I've seen some videos.